We're here at Opinionated News, where the you is definitely for you. I'm Miss Open, and you can come in as we're always open. Bear with my voice, y'all. I've been struggling with my voice since Saturday, and it's Tuesday, and my voice still messed up. So you gotta bear with me. And I can't see. I gotta check every time to see how many people I have. Oh, thank you for the 2 people that's in my bushes. I appreciate you. And I got a better system tonight to read my comments. I got my laptop back here, but I thank you. Hey, Mels, thank you for being here. Welcome. Yes, it is the outside. You such a. I love you, Mels. You such a good moderator. I appreciate you. We are definitely in the out segment. Open understands too. We're going to be talking about this young lady in Atlanta, Georgia, that was declared brain dead in February, and I put out a video, and I put it out a little late, and I'm going to start doing that when I do have serious discussions, putting out a video earlier in the day or the day before, give you all a chance to watch it before we do get ready to discuss it. But it is a young lady in Atlanta, went to the doctor saying she was 8 weeks pregnant, went to the emergency room about a headache, and a few hours later they declared her brain dead. Now, due to Georgia's law, which is the heartbeat law, meaning once a person does have a pregnant lady does have a heartbeat, you can no longer terminate the pregnancy. I'm trying to make sure I'm using the proper words, you all, so YouTube won't mess with me, but this is for educational and news reporting purposes. While I put that out there. And Mills, I'm gonna figure out how to get you my disclaimer so we can start probably putting that in the chat. But I thank you so much for being here and make sure I know. Oh, it's just probably me and you, Mills, but it's all right. Other people may come in, but I do have it on subscribe only mode. And for some reason, when I put it on subscribe mode last time, for well, not the time before last, for any duration, it made it somehow where I couldn't do it that way. So, but I'm going to try to see if I can get it back. But hopefully, some more people will join this discussion because I think it's a great discussion tonight. But when the young lady went to the hospital about her headache, a few hours later, she was declared brain dead due to the law, the heartbeat law. Oh, girl. Okay, I thought you said you did email me. I was about to say I ain't checked it, but you said you'll do it tomorrow. That's fine, boo. Appreciate you. But I was about to say because I ain't checked no emails today or nothing. I've been basically chilling. I had a bunch, not chilling because I had a bunch to do today. I had a long day, and it's raining here, you all. I hate the rain. Rain sombers my mood, and so if you can tell, I'm not as upbeat tonight. But I'm here to give something informational, not to act the fool tonight. So the young lady, when she was, they said they could not terminate the pregnancy. She has been on life support since February. Make sure I took notes. Make sure I got accurate information. Since February 19th, 2025. She is now 22 weeks pregnant. And now this story broke the news last week, but like yesterday, her mom came back out and was telling more of her story because to her, she feels like because she asked the doctors basically once her daughter was technically going through the headaches and almost declared brain dead, they asked if she would terminate the pregnancy, would that save her life? And the doctors pretty much said no. So at that moment, whether her parents wanted to terminate the pregnancy or her next of kin wanted to, they were unable to due to the law. Now she was only 8 weeks pregnant. So, but at 8 weeks, you're still in your first trimester. Yes, the baby does have a slight heartbeat. I've lost 4 babies. Not, I didn't have any terminated pregnancies, but I've lost 4 babies along the way, and all of them were within my second trimester, but except for one, and that one did not have a fetal heartbeat. So they ended up doing that, but now with this new law, since the Roe versus Wade situation, I believe that started happening in 2022, if I'm not mistaken, or 23. But since that situation, you know, Georgia's having a hard time fighting because they did adopt that law. Now here in Michigan, we did not adopt that law. Make sure I ain't. Oh, welcome to my new people here. I see I got a couple of people in the bushes. Welcome. I'm Miss Open, and I thank you for being here. You can always come in as we're always open. and you're here at Opinionated News, where the U is definitely for you. And we're talking about a young lady in Atlanta who pretty much is being held on life support without her will or her parents' will, so she can have her baby full term due to the law, the heartbeat law. And so they're looking to give her a C-section come August. But right now, the baby is developing the way it's supposed to be developing, in exception to they were saying that cerebellum, I can never, I'm making sure, make sure I'm saying, yeah, cerebellum, it may be a part of the baby's brain. He may come out with some deformities due to the lack of oxygen that the mom is receiving right now. Oh, oh, I didn't see it. It's not in my chat. But hey, vibes, welcome. Yeah, I don't see nothing else but just contagious. But thank you for being here. But at the moment, the lady, is being held on. Hey, sis, thank you for being here. Yeah, shaking my head. And I don't know how I would feel like if I was pregnant and I went to the doctor and they would, declare me, because now this is going to put a burden on, not, I'm not saying a burden, but her mom probably wasn't planning on raising a kid, you know, but now, because that is her family, that is her child, like she said, she wants her child's life to live on through her children. The mom, the lady that's pretty much brain dead, has a son. She has a 7-year-old son already, and they haven't even told him that his mom won't be coming back. He think his mom is just asleep, and he's gonna think his mom is asleep from now until August. And so what happens in August? They take the baby out, give the baby this, and he's healthy, and he's okay. They hand him over to the mom, but now she got to bear her daughter. Like, I just don't like that law. Like, I'm not saying, like, I know this is open understands too. I haven't never went through anything like that before, but I just, it hurts me. Hey, well, hey, Martin, welcome. Oh, you know what? It looked different. Y'all know Ghetto Kitty act up every time I go live. Literally 5 minutes before I came live, I screamed his name. He didn't want to come in, but he's out there screaming. Give me 1 second, you all. Oh, Ghetto Kitty. Every time. Every time. 10 o'clock is your curfew, huh? Okay, it's not that serious. Come on. You don't have to cry like that. You don't have to let the people think you're getting abused, Ghetto Kitty. You messing up my flow. You are messing up my flow, Ghetto Kitty. I do apologize, you all. Get down. You're not jumping up here. You move, move. I'm sorry, y'all. I apologize. Probably ran some people off. Hope y'all gained another person. Oh, you all, if you all don't mind, please double tap your screen. Let's let them know Miss Open is out here talking about real stuff today, and you can also react to the live. But I was hoping some people could join in and tell me their views and opinions on this conversation. Like, how would you all feel if, because most of you all do have adult daughters and are grandmothers, like, how would you feel if your daughter went to the hospital and she was declared brain dead, but they were going to birth her baby to full term, to hand over to you, your husband, maybe even the baby's father. Like, we're not quite sure exactly where baby Chance is going to go. His name is Chance. They named him Chance, because, like, the mom said that he has a second chance at life, and then he already has a brother named Chase. But it just saddens me. Oh, girl, he probably worse than Ace. I don't think Ghetto Kitty got nothing on Ace Mail. I don't think Ghetto Kitty got anything on I mean, Ace ain't got nothing on Ghetto Kitty. That's what I'm trying to say. Ghetto Kitty be ghettoing. Ace ain't running up in your neighbor's house and they screaming for you to come get him. That's what's going on in my life with Ghetto Kitty. And Ghetto Kitty is about to end up at a shelter if Ghetto Kitty don't get his life. Because he, for some reason, like, he'll scream and cry for like 30, 40 minutes to go out there. And then he'll want to come back in 5, 10 minutes later. It's weird. I don't know. He's been outside 4 times since I got home. Me and my baby got home probably about 4 or 5 today. Yeah. But anywho, let's get back on this, on the subject. And so the young lady name is Adriana Smith, and she's 30 years old. And her mom name is April Newkirk. So if you all get a chance to go and watch the video, I did post the video. I would love for you all to, definitely check that out. And I'm not really gonna be here that long tonight anyway, because I'm really drained. Like that rain got me. So everything just got me today. And actually, this story, y'all. That's why I don't like to bring heavy stuff so often. I really love my upbeat, but I know I have to bring true content out here. Hey, Brooks, welcome, welcome. We're just talking about a young lady that is declared brain dead since February, but she's been held on life support so she can, birth her baby to full term. Then they're gonna, terminate her life, and the baby will hopefully have a full life. While her other child will be suffering. Her other child believes that his mom is just asleep right now. And that's sad. But thank you for joining in, Brooks. I appreciate you. And any other bush watchers may be in there. I appreciate you. Hey, sis. That's sad for sure. But the baby deserves. Yeah, the baby. And that's what the mom said as well. The baby deserves to live, as well as she want her daughter to live. Like that's a tough situation. And and childbirth comes with so much adversity, and definitely, But the thing is, like, for her to go into the hospital with a headache, and they said a few hours later, so this wasn't days later, like a few hours later, she was determined to be brain dead. And that scares me. I don't have major headaches like that, but I have had brain surgeries before. I got hit by a car, so I've had brain injuries and all of that. And at the end of the day, and Brooks, be nice to my sister. That's my sister Dee Dee. Now Diva D is Dee Dee. Be nice, Brooks. But like I've had brain surgeries before, and so like I can probably get a headache. Luckily, hopefully I'm done birthing children. I won't ever find myself in that situation. And I live in a state where Michigan didn't adopt that law. Our governor, Big Gretch, because the law was a federal law, but I believe states had to adopt that law. And our governor, Big Gretch, did not adopt that law. Yeah, that's crazy. That's a crazy decision to have to make. And no, they should. The mom didn't even have a chance to make no decision. Georgia, the doctors aren't going to do anything because they can't. They don't want to lose their licenses. You understand? Once Georgia made the heartbeat law, I should have did my research to find out the exact date that law went into play. I actually just got this story today. Actually, I've been seeing it, but I just gathered my research, the little that I have today. And so I didn't find out exactly when Georgia adopted that heartbeat law, but of course it all came about with the you know Roe versus Wade situation. But Michigan did not. Big Gretchen was not having it. Gretchen Whitmore did not adopt that. So whether you're pro-choice or I'm not sure. I'm pro-choice. Like for all all situations, it's your life. You know, you decide what you want to do. With your baby or without your. But she don't have a choice right now because she's brain dead. And so now I'm not sure where she is. She could be in the bushes. What you looking for her for, Martin? Drea, if you happen to see this replay and I don't happen to have a live chat up yet, Martin is looking for you. Martin is asking about Drea, but she's not here tonight. Hopefully she does come in. If not, she'll hopefully see the replay and she can tell you where she was next time that y'all are here together. But thank you for being here, Martin. I really appreciate you. And any bush watchers, if you've never been here before, I'm as open, and you can always come in. Don't be scared to jump in the conversation. I'm very open, and this is a opinionated platform for you. You can drop any opinion you like. Okay, Brooks says them southern states. Okay, you missed the end. Them southern states gonna go for the baby every time. Of course, it ain't even the fact that they're gonna go for the baby. The southern states is always gonna choose. How do I word this without, because y'all know I'm not really into the politics like that, but this story happened to play in a part of politics. I try to steer clear of those. Hey Rock, thank you for being here. Rock, you stay in the store, in the supermarket, as you had called it last time, or getting you some good food, girl. Pick me up something, ship me a little something up here. I can get it with my food stamps tomorrow, girl. No, but I appreciate you all for being in here. But like coming from Georgia, I lived in Georgia. I couldn't imagine, say like, because right now people are having to make these life decisions where they are getting pregnant and they're saying, "Hey, your child may have this disability, that disability," and they probably don't want to, carry full term with that baby, but they don't have the options, or that baby could put their life at risk. and everything else. Let me see. Thank you, Martin, for you said you are the best person to go live because all these man and ladies smoke vapes and be weird, but you're the best. Thank you so much, Martin, for thinking I'm the best. But remember, I am not perfect. Miss Open does smoke cigarettes and weed, but on days like today, I steer away from that. But on Friday and Thursday and Friday, I get a little ratchet, Martin. But I do appreciate your compliment and recognizing what I am trying to bring out here to the table. While showing you all who I genuinely am and letting you all into my life as well. And Ghetto Kitty and my daughter Noodles. But I appreciate you. But like I just can't imagine, when I did stay in Georgia and they had that law. No, don't come over here, Ghetto Kitty. Now, why is you being rude on the live? Get down. You say I've been showing you all them other times. Now ain't the time. Okay? Now is not the time. Y'all, I apologize. Ghetto Kitty is ghettoing tonight. He is really ghettoing. Thank you, Mels, for thanking Martin for me. But I really appreciate that compliment. But let me get back on track. So now Miss April, her mom name is April Newkirk. So now Miss April, first of all, right now I believe they did not say if her oldest son is with her or with his father, or what's going on in their situation. Hey, Vibe, thank you for coming in. It's okay. Martin. Yeah, you like to beg. You was begging Saturday night, Martin. I appreciate. I'm out here every day. Don't know what my topic is tomorrow yet, but I'm out here 5 out of the 7 days, Monday through Friday. Martin, you will find me out here normally in the 10 o'clock hour. Sometimes I'm a little later on the weekend, closer to the weekend, but you'll find me. Most days I'm holding great discussions. Other days, Martin, we acting a fool like we did Saturday. Okay, so but Martin, I feel like you know me from somewhere or something. And you just got your name as Martin. Martin, tell me who you really are. Um, I've been here, Miss Open. You forgot? No, no, you spoke earlier, but then you had can't like I know you've been in and out. I was just thanking you. No, I ain't forget. I ain't forget at all. I'm just but I just can't imagine when I was in Georgia and if I needed to terminate a pregnancy or if I wanted to due to my health and because I do have a daughter that I want to be here for, you understand, that is already living, breathing, has already had a relationship with me outside the womb. If I had to make that decision, I wouldn't know how to react. Okay, y'all, Ghetto Kitty is ghetto in it up tonight. He's crying. He has food, water, everything he needs. I think he want my baby attention. And I think he want my baby attention. She looks Chinese tonight. Yeah, she forgot. I did not forget. I do look Chinese because I'm tired. I did. All I smoked was a little piece of my blunt, though, y'all. Just a little piece. Just my first blunt of the day. I had stuff to do. Life be lifing. But I come out here and try to, do what I can do. And congratulations, Martin. So now you're trying to go back outside. See, Ghetto Kitty is ghettoing it up tonight. I don't know if he was about to get beat up out there and then he wanted to come in. Because now he's crying at the door, looking out the window like something about to get him. Y'all pray for me. Pray for me. If it ain't Ghetto Kitty, it's the kid. Ali, please, no. You're being rude. And I'm trying to hold a serious conversation tonight. Tonight is not show Ali off and act up. And if you jump up here, we're going to have an issue. Yeah, I apologize. You really don't think that's the same Martin? I don't know. That Martin was talking about. Oh, you don't think that's the same one from back in the day? I don't. He might not be, but I don't know. Somebody was saying Martin was somebody else last week. Anyway, I forgot who it was. You are a man. Okay, I'm glad that you really are a man. I really got that feeling on Saturday that you really was a man. But do you know me personally, Martin? Did you change your name? Are you Eddie Johnson Jr., Martin? No, I'm just playing. I know Mike don't come in here with that name. Keep your if you in the bushes, Mike, stay in the bushes. Okay, I had lost my people. I was making sure I ain't had no more to speak to. But anywho, let's get back on track. So now April Newkirk, the mother. Yeah, don't laugh at me, Mels. I'm trying to stay on track. Y'all know. Okay. Ghetto kitty. I don't know what to do. You can't continue to scream. They're gonna think you've been abused and stuff. That's not nice. And I know. Oh, I know you're not Mike. I know. I know you ain't Mike. Mike be coming in as Eddie Johnson Jr. I know you're not Mike for sure. Mike either in the bushes or Mike sleep or whatever or handling some businesses. But at the end of the day, I don't know why my computer on airplane mode, but that don't matter. But at the end of the day, Miss April is now gonna have to look after her daughter's children, and who knows how the baby is gonna come out. The baby is not getting enough oxygen from the mom because she's on a ventilator to keep her alive. So she's not breathing the real oxygen that we get. We even though like they said, let me make sure I got the correct things. The baby has all his limbs and let's see, his heartbeat is good and strong, and he is growing at the typical rate. He's actually a little overweight for the size, or a little bigger than the size that they would actually want him to be at the 22 fetus, 22 weeks of being pregnant. So it seems like the baby is going to come out okay, but let me make sure let me read the word cerebellum. Yes, the baby might have cerebellum, which I think you all know that is a form of like cerebral palsy. No, I'm not purging. You trying to say pregnant? I just look pregnant, Martin. No, I'm not pregnant. We're talking about this young lady, Adriana Smith, 30 years old from Atlanta, Georgia, that was 8 weeks pregnant and went to she was at the time on February 19th, 2025. She went to a hospital in Atlanta for a headache, due to her being pregnant and whatever was going on. And they declared her brain dead a few weeks later. And at the end of the day, now, because Georgia has a law about the heartbeat law, once your baby determined to have a heartbeat, which typically happens around 6 weeks, sometimes 4 weeks, depending on, I guess, the size of your fetus, but anywhere between 4 and 6 weeks, the baby gets a heartbeat. Most people don't even find out they're pregnant until they're 8 weeks, 7 weeks, 12 weeks, and the baby already got a heartbeat. Each one of my pregnancies, I was well beyond that point. Like when I got pregnant with my baby, who is my living child, I was 6 weeks, 24 weeks when I found out I was pregnant. So I was well past, like, if I wanted to make a decision or anything, that was out. Now let me see. Mel said I had my last baby at 29 weeks. My PC is, oh, that's Martin. He was 2 pounds and 9 ounces. Oh, but at least he made it. He made it, and like that was always my fear. Because when I found out I was pregnant, like I said, I was 24 weeks. Of course, I had been. Hey, Kalia, welcome. You don't have to type your. You don't have to tell me who it is anymore. I know that girl. You're that girl, Kalia. I already know you. You don't got to type your name. Just say, "Hey, girl," and I'm like, "Hey, Kalia, I got you. I know exactly who you are, and I appreciate you and your support and coming in and dropping in every time I do go live on the vertical stream. I really appreciate you." But that was my fear, being that I was a cigarette smoker, a weed smoker, and I had been drinking, y'all, but I wasn't drinking. But I had been drinking. Definitely I was drinking the first 2 months because I was still in Atlanta with my baby daddy. But I had left and moved to Augusta the last maybe 2 or 3 months before I found out I was pregnant or whatever. So I wasn't drinking. But I was smoking cigarettes and weed as well. He snuck in your room again? Okay. You have to figure out how to keep him from sneaking in there. I'm live. So it's Noodles and Ghetto Kitty, y'all. A fight might break out in a minute. If y'all hear some crazy stuff, they okay. They do this. But being that, I was so far along, nothing could happen with, I couldn't do anything. But I was also scared that, my baby was going to come out with deformities and all this stuff. I immediately stopped drinking. But I couldn't stop smoking cigarettes, you all. I really couldn't. But I didn't smoke. That's why I started smoking the longer ones or whatever. Back then, because I was buy a pack a week and just smoke and put it out whenever I had the urge. And so but at the end of the day, luckily, my baby did come out healthy. In addition, she was born with two holes in her heart, which she never had an issue with anything, but that guilt trip played on me. Yes, I am addicted, Martin. I am addicted to the cigarettes. I am. I have told you that. Have a good day, Kalia. You always come in just to speak and you have to go. It's okay. Have a good day. I appreciate you. Yeah, these vertical live streams, I'm addicted to them. Not just the I'm not just addicted to the cigarettes, Martin. I'm addicted to the vertical live streams. I enjoy them. People are so funny to me. But at the end of the day, you have a good day, Kalia. I'll see you next time. And remember, don't type who you are. I'm gonna remember you. Okay. It's okay, Martin. That was long time ago. I had two miscarriages when I was like 16 and 17. My last one was almost 10 years ago. But when I look back, like, God protected me and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, I'm not trying to make this about me. I want to talk about how Georgia law is, you know, a problem for a lot of people, because I'm quite sure this is just one of the stories that made the news. I'm quite sure this has happened to someone else. You know what I'm saying? I'm quite sure someone else was told, "Hey, your son or your daughter," or they might not even know the gender yet, but this is XYZ is going on with this baby, and no, you can't terminate this pregnancy even if you wanted to. Now, people are leaving out of states and going to states to have things done that are, that is legal for termination of pregnancy. But as far as Adriana's situation, she wasn't even given a choice because she was just declared brain dead. She went there for a headache. That's the alarming part to me. She went in there just for a headache. So I don't know if she had a brain aneurysm. They didn't say. Not sure what caused it, or stress from the baby, or we don't know what caused it. My son was developmentally delayed, but he's okay. He's 23 now. That's great. Now, that's what normally happens. And like, I know this. Y'all know how to bring my people up that we do watch. I know this Peach McIntyre. People have been saying, "Oh, she need to take them babies to the doctor. They ain't doing what they supposed to do for 4 months." They were born early. They were premature. The last one stayed in the hospital over 50, 60 days, 2 months. No, they're not going to develop as quickly as the average 4 month old, because they're basically just newborns, because they technically had to grow outside the womb and heal outside the womb. And like, I hate the people that I'm gonna say hate. That's a strong word, but I hate them people that go over there with all that negative mindset. Because like recently, which I know it happened probably a month ago, she just okay, Ali, you're doing the most. Yeah, Ghetto Kitty is jumping on shelves, breaking stuff. He got an attitude, and this is what happens when he get an attitude, and he about to get in trouble. But I'm gonna let him rock out for a second. He gonna end up on the leash, y'all. And he gonna be crying. He made me lose my train of thought. Oh, I done lost my train of thought messing with Ghetto Kitty, because I was going somewhere. I was about to cook, and then I done set my pot on fire. I think I was going with Peach. Okay. Like, her baby, her 5-year-old happened to be in the hospital. I think this happened like a month ago. And but she just made the content and posted it, because I remember when they were saying that Wood went out of town for his birthday and da 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 da. But she's in the hospital with all 9 of her babies. You know what I'm saying? Doing the best she can with her 9 kids. Literally, she got all of them in there. She got 3 of them crying at one time. The baby sick in the bed. She don't make Gregory and McKay do anything for them other little ones, which I totally agree with. You understand? The little girl walking around with another baby. They're a family, they're a unit, and people are always going over there, knocking what she do for hers, and judging. Granted, she does put it out here for us to see, but y'all are judging this lady that has buried 9 kids successfully. You understand? Y'all talking about her babies that came out prematurely and that are developing outside the womb at their own pace. And I don't like stuff like that. Like, stuff like that get to me, and I be ready to get to people when I see things like that. But I try not to respond, comment on things like that that I know I have a strong opinion on. I try not to comment. I just watch, like, and go on about my day. But I just fear for so now this baby, let's get back on subject with Adriana. So now Adriana's son, Chance, because that's his name, when he does come out the womb, he's never going to know his mom. So is that fair? Like, he will have love. I'm quite sure, like the grandmother say, they're going to provide the same love. Let me make sure those are her words. because I sort of wrote down certain little points to make sure I was telling the right thing. Yeah, but she said, regardless of his condition, she is prepared to raise Chance and provide him with the same love that is being given to Adriana's other son, Chase. So at the end of the day, um, Chance will never get to know his mom. Chase only got 7 years with his mom. You know what I'm saying? And he believes his mom is sleeping. Like, how are they going to be able to break that down? So yes, your mom went and slept for 6 months or 7 months, however months before they delivered the baby successfully. That she slept for 7 months, and now she's no longer sleeping. She's just not here. But here's your baby brother that who may have some technical, some developmental challenges. I can speak, y'all. Developmental challenges growing up due to him having to be incubated in the womb of someone without enough oxygen to incubate a baby. It's just I don't get it. Now let's see. Make sure, yeah, but I think peach babies are very fine and doing well. And at the end of the day, it's just sad, and I will hope that Georgia take this situation, look at that law and revise and revamp that law, or just take it away altogether, because I'm like I said, I'm quite sure she's not the first case where something like this has happened. She just happened to be the one that made the news, and hopefully they make a change from this. But I do know that state is, like Brooks was in here earlier, so he was saying it's for the babies. So and it's basically for what they believe is right. They're not pro-choice. What's the word when you're not pro-choice? Anti something. Now Mel says, I do the same for my daughter, but I wouldn't have told him she was sleeping. Yeah, that hurt. They should tell him the truth, no matter how hard the conversation will be. And like she said, you said 7-year-old understand more than. Oh, I know my 7-year-old was very smart, but that's what she's saying. Like they're going and they're grieving her while trying to be happy that a new life is coming. You know what I'm saying? Like she's saying, it's hard to go in there every day, or how often she's going in to see her baby, knowing that her baby is gone for real, but her grandbaby is baking and making and doing well. And like at the end of the day, I got hope. I'm one of the people that, because we've seen stories where people have been on life support for so long, and they're saying they brain dead, but they do come back. You know what I'm saying? They told my mom that I might have been brain dead and da da da, but they was able to go in there, fix whatever they fixed, and I woke up in a couple of days from my coma. You know what I'm saying? I was young then too. I was young, and you know how sometimes kids are a little more resilient. But she's only 30, so she's not old. She's not, she ain't too young. But at the end of the day, I also fear about childbirth over 30. Like luckily, like one of my friends, the one that be in the chat, Zane, she just birthed a baby over 40. I think she was 40 when she had the baby, or we were about to turn 40 the next day or next week or something like that. But at the end of the day, she was blessed to have a okay, go through that full term pregnancy with minimum issues at 41. Childbirth. I should have checked on the rates and how much of our Black community does suffer from you know um birth mortality. And like I don't know if y'all watch Married to Medicine, but I do watch that show, and Dr. Jackie Waters or whatever. Like I like what she do, and she was getting a lot of flack online and all that stuff, but she's an advocate because they're saying that because most of our color don't have the proper insurance, and we don't get advocated the way we should. During our pregnancies, we don't get the best care, is what they say. Now, the care I can't really tell my experiences on pregnancy and care like that. I only had 16. Like by the time I found out I was pregnant, they was trying to give me everything. I had to drink the stuff, found out what I was having, all in like a couple of days. You all, I had to go back and forth to the doctor for like a week straight. Like every 2 or 3 days to catch up on my prenatal care because I didn't have it because I didn't know I was pregnant. You know what I'm saying? What's wrong, Martin? You okay? Yeah, that's why I don't like to bring serious stuff like this. Thank you for my 8 bush watchers. I appreciate you. I know a couple of my sisters in there. I thank you all for being there as I do hold this discussion and just bring some awareness. And because I don't have my disclaimer, everything I do want to let you all know that this is for educational and news reporting purposes. And I just want to, bring this story out here today. I'm sorry it's making you sad, Martin, but that's why, like, I hate bringing these type of newses. But that's what news is. News ain't. I'm okay. It is sad though. Okay, but we don't really get too much good news out here in the world no more. I am gonna try to find some great news, but like, I only bring one heavy day. This is our only heavy day, y'all. Everything else is gonna be. Thank you for still being here, Rob. Everything else this week is gonna be lighter. It's gonna be lighter. I'm not sure what we're gonna talk about tomorrow or Thursday. I'm gonna find something real juicy and be back here Friday for game night. And after this game night, that's gonna be the last one. The next week, we're just gonna do a straight vertical fun live. Okay, I'm not gonna play any games, but let me get back on track because I ain't trying to be here. But I think I basically hit all the points that I wanted to hit tonight about this story. To be honest, I just wanted to bring awareness about what Georgia is doing to their people, and it's not just saying that she went in there trying to terminate her pregnancy or whatever, but we're not sure what she was told. Like, granted, she was 8 weeks pregnant or whatever. Like, when she went in with her headache, who knows how long she had been having the headaches? They didn't say. They didn't say when she found out she was pregnant. They didn't say if she found out she was pregnant at that moment. You understand? Because sometimes that happens. You go in for a headache, next thing you know, or go in for something and they make you take the culture test, and then they come back to, ma'am, you pregnant. You know what I'm saying? I've seen it happen to a few people, and at the end of the day, not sure of the backstory, but it's a sad day in society when they're forcing a baby to be born motherless. That's how I look at it. Like, granted, he's gonna have a grandmother. He is gonna have hopefully his dad around. Not sure of that situation as well, but hopefully he is gonna have people that love him. But he will never get to experience that mother's love. Hi, terrific. Welcome. Yeah, you made it. We've only been here for 37 minutes and 25 seconds, and we're actually not gonna be here too much longer tonight. Miss Open is a little the weather affects my mood. It's raining and cold and drab here in Detroit. I think it was only 53 degrees today, terrific. And it's raining. And Ghetto Kitty was around here crying. But I'm just not as upbeat. And y'all know these type of stories do pull on my heartstrings because I am an empath, and that's probably why I do like to come out and be fun. But I do have to bring genuine, real content to you all. And as I am out here, I'm not just out here for myself to be content. I'm out here to bring awareness about certain things, show my relatability to all situations. Like the way I relate to Miss Adriana Smith. I too was once brain dead. I too have been pregnant several times. I've lost a baby. I've lost my first baby. I lost, did not have a fetal heartbeat. I went to the doctor for my first ultrasound, excited. I'm young though. I'm only 16 years old. Me and my 18-year-old cousin go when she had just had her first baby or whatever. And we go to my doctor's appointment and we're excited because we're like, oh, we're gonna get to see the baby, but the baby had no heartbeat. And that was a hard thing for the nurse to tell me. First of all, like when they gave me the little sonogram, they was like, they was like, hey, go drink some water, you know what I'm saying, and walk around and then come back. So I go back and, they put the little sonogram thing on my stomach again. And, this is back in the day when they had the jelly and that big stroll. Now they got more technical stuff and good, they actually, I think, have the vaginal ultrasounds now. Because in 2010, that's what I had, one of those. But this is back when they used to rub all that on there. Yes. Oh, my bougie ghetto, not boo. No, I got a ghetto kitty, gangster kitty. My kitty is ghetto and gangster. They know about ghetto kitty. Terrific. He don't play no games. He fights. He runs away. He do all types of stuff. But yeah, it's sad. It's a sad story. Y'all don't have to say sorry for me. I got over that a long time ago. I feel like God protected me from being a teen mom. I wasn't even sad about that first baby. My cousin was more sad in that doctor's office than I was. Because, first of all, who plans the, well, I'm not going to say who plans. I've heard 16-year-olds get pregnant on purpose before, but it wasn't planned. I had sex. It happened, you know. I didn't, it wasn't no planned thing. And I didn't know what I was going to do at that time anyway. I was just starting to experience my homelessness lifestyle type of thing. Being young teen, running the streets, nowhere to really stay, pillow to post type of thing. I would, I probably wouldn't. I declare myself today a good, great mom, actually, and I would not have been able to be a good mom. I know personally at 15 and 16 for my personality and my character. Now, I can't say just because of my age, because when I was in high school, well, not high school, in the eighth grade, five girls came up. Oh, Mels, you found it for me. I love you. I love you. I can't wait to come to the garden, and I'm bringing some good things for us in the garden, and we're gonna have fun when I get there. But at the end of the day, um, oh, I lost my train of thought. Y'all know my short term be messed up. I'll get it back in a second. I was going somewhere. I was cooking. I was about to cook. I seen that copyright, like, oh, my chat mic can be saved. Oh, I was cooking. Oh, I was talking about when I, lost the baby. But at the end of the day, some of my classmates, when we were in eighth grade, five girls turned up pregnant, and all of them. Now, the first one to have her baby, I want to say she had her baby around February ish. Um, her baby ended up maybe 3 weeks. It passed away from SIDS, maybe 3 or 4 weeks after she delivered. Imagine being 14 years old in eighth grade, delivering your first child, thinking everything's gravy, and you're living your best life, and your child died, well, passed away from SIDS. The rest of them babies came out full term, everything. Um, and healthy, and actually are great kids today. Like, I'm saying that to say that these young girls parented some great kids. These kids have graduated college. These kids, own homes at 20. I believe they're all like 28 years old right now. But these 14-year-old moms actually produce some great things. Now, I know one of the moms, I think she got pregnant in ninth grade along with me. Because back in the day, they used to send us to these embarrassing classes when you would get pregnant. They'll call your name over the intercom. Open, Raquel, Terrific, Males, Diva D, and y'all got to go to this class. I only made it to one of the classes or whatever. And that wasn't even with my first pregnancy. That was with the second one that I got pregnant with, because that's the one that I was able to carry a little longer. Was five girls. But Raquel, it was too embarrassing. And then everybody be like, "Ooh, all them pregnant." They would call us over the intercom to go to the special class. It wasn't an everyday thing, but everybody knew you was pregnant, girl. That was embarrassing. Embarrassing. And like, I was truly embarrassed when I got pregnant with my daughter, that my living child. Because with the other babies, I only showed a little bit. Not really showed, just a little good. But when I really got full term with my baby, yeah, I was embarrassed. I'm like, people gonna know I'm not a virgin. I'm having, even though I'm quite sure people knew I was already sexually active. I had been doing my thing, but for people to see you pregnant, they know what you was doing, y'all. That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. Y'all know I embarrass easily. Don't be laughing at me, Martin. Don't be laughing. But like, I was proud of my classmates though. Like, one of those girls that did get pregnant was my lifetime best friend. And her been friends for 30, since we were 8. So 33 years now. And almost 34 years. But she was one of those girls that got pregnant, and that's a whole nother type of situation. But all those girls, I want to say this, because while this case is out here and all these cases with sexual assault and stuff, all of those girls that got pregnant in eighth grade were either pregnant by a 17-year-old, 18-year-old, or 19-year-old. One girl, the girl that got pregnant in fifth when we was 15, in ninth grade, where I believe her baby's father was 28, 27. When I did get pregnant I got pregnant at 15. He was 19. So basically, all of us. That's why, like, I can't. But I wasn't, molested or whatever those, people want to say. I chose. I was already out there. I was grown. Da da da. My first boyfriend was 17, so I was like, "Well, he's too young for me." I chose a 19-year-old. You know what I'm saying? Every time that I talked to an older guy, it was my choice. You know what I'm saying? Now, maybe they should have turned me down but I don't know if it's a Southern thing or that country stuff. But nobody, like, all them girls, when they went to deliver their babies at these hospitals, nobody questioned, why is this 14-year-old pregnant? Did it happen inside the home? How old is the father? You know, like I know my personal friend, her baby dad didn't sign the birth certificate and to her child until they got married when she turned 18. Right? They stayed together that whole time from her being 13 to, probably they was together for a long time. They finally did divorce later on, but they were together. They had 3 kids together, and she didn't have another kid till like 8 years later or so. But at the end of the day, you know, none of them even had, like they could have had those options. I'm relating it back to Adriana. All of them probably could have had an option to terminate those pregnancies when they were, you know, this was in the 90s. This is in the late 90s. But they probably could have had the option, but, luckily they didn't. And now they have raised successful, great kids. So let's take that back to Chance. Like, Chance has a second chance at life. Chance could be our future president. Chance can be, the next great thing coming. But Chance is going to always have that empty wound where he never knew his mom. He may carry that guilt and think that he took his mom away from here. Like, so I don't know how, I don't like that law. I say all this to say that Georgia needs to look into that law, revamp it, take it away, let it be, go back to being pro choice. Let these people make the choice. Because at the end of the day, I'm not, this is my personal opinion. This is not a fact. This is allegedly, but this is my personal opinion. I feel like Miss Newkirk would have chosen, hey, when she asked the question, if my daughter's life is, if they terminate the pregnancy, will my daughter's life go on? They basically said no. I feel like once she knew that, she probably would have been okay with them terminating that pregnancy at only 8 weeks. You understand? She was not, they didn't know what the gender was. The baby did have a heartbeat. But, and I don't know. Like, but I'm pro choice. So this is, like I said, this is my personal opinion. And because for me, if it comes down to my baby and her having a 8-week-old baby that's gonna probably take my baby that's been living for 30 years away from me, I'm gonna choose for them to terminate the 8-week-old baby. I promise. I'm sorry, it might sound cruel and hard, but that's my baby that I've had 30 long years with. That like. But at the end of the day, they said she was brain dead, and I want to know how did she become brain dead in a matter of a couple of hours? Like, was it something? Did something happen back there? Did she have a seizure? They didn't give us any more, parts to the story. But I'm going to continue to look into that, and I won't bring it back out on a live stream. If I find more information, I will definitely make a video. And I think that's what I'm probably going to start doing, y'all, with my heavy stuff is making videos, and then I'll premiere them, and we can discuss them that way. So therefore, I'm only typing in the chat with you all versus me having to talk about it because it get heavy on me, y'all. Like, not being funny, it gets heavy. Now I see what Terrific says. She says, I remember hiding my first pregnancy because it was the first out of my group of friends to get pregnant. I was the first out of my group of friends to get pregnant, and I was grown, well over 19. It wasn't silly. Like, sometimes you have to, back then, they looked upon pregnancy as shame, you know, which I think pregnancy is a beautiful thing. Definitely when two people are in love, capable, and able to raise raise their children and wanting and willing. But at the end of the day, we don't know. They didn't say if Adriana was married, if she has a husband. They didn't tell her situation, and they didn't dig deeper. Now, Mel says my first pregnancy at 15, my folks took me up the road in a heartbeat. See, like that could have been my situation, but luckily nobody wouldn't. Like we already had teen pregnancy in my family, so teen pregnancy was gonna go on and on and on, and that's where I feel like God protected me from me being a teen mom, so I can be an adult mom when I had my daughter, so I can protect her from being a teen mom. I feel like I broke the curse. Well, he broke that curse for my family on my legacy that gets to carry on. But like I've never had to go up the road, I never took myself up the road. But to be honest, and that's how God worked. Because had I found out about my now living daughter in those earlier weeks, she probably would not be here today based on I probably would have wanted to go up the road based on who my baby daddy is and was. And at the end, and he ain't been here, da da da. But at that time, you know, I basically in my mind I wasn't ready, but God, prepared me, laid my, He made my plate and He made me ready. Yeah, I bet. I figure up the road was Atlanta, Males. And Macon, you ain't say down the road, but there ain't too many places up the road that you can go. Cause I know where I come from in Statesboro, Georgia, they didn't even have a facility. And I used to live in Millen, Georgia. That little country town. I was young then. That's the town I got hit in. They don't even have a. They have a hospital, but they can't even deliver babies at that hospital. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's, I feel like it should still be pro-choice. Now, also, I feel like it should be age limits as well. Like, with males, I'm not sure if that was your choice to go up the road. Like you said, my folks took me up the road. Like, would you have preferred to have parented your child at 15? Because, when not being funny, when I look back now at 41, those girls that had those babies when they was 14 and 15, them ladies are, first of all, they grandmothers already, but they are living their best lives. They are literally at 41, got businesses, them kids done, did what they're supposed to do. They living their best lives. And now I'm still in my parenting stage. You know what I'm saying? I still got, somebody should I had them babies at 15 and 16, even though I know like it takes money and all that stuff, but all those girls went out and got jobs. They worked hard for their babies. They did what they had to do. Some of the dads were involved and still are involved today, somewhere. Um, have a good night, Martin. You take care. Let me see. I'm missing comments. Thank you, right? Let me go back up. Last thing I said was traffic jammers, and then vibes came in. I appreciate you and all my little thumbs up to my hearts. Now, terrific said Mel. Yep, went down south to go visit. Oh, that's what they used to do back in the day. Like take you down south and go visit, and you come back. It's like some people, birth the kids. Now I do have a cousin, not a first cousin or something, but a relative that when we were younger, I personally don't remember, but it's been talked about in my family. I think because I'm like 5 years younger than her, but it happened when she was like 10 or 11. Like she was basically, our word from somebody close by and a family friend, something, and basically had to carry her baby full term and had to give it up for adoption. Like that. That's traumatic. I don't know how she feels about it. Never really talked to her. Nobody. It never really came back up in the family after that. Like I just like as a big thing. I just heard it on the sidelines, but it has never really been talked about. And it's sad that now that child has to be if I'm 41, about 35, 36 or whatever. But it was born to a 10-year-old mom. And I seen a story about that on Breakbeat Media. I meant to bring that to my platform. It was a story similar to that situation on Breakbeat Media, and I really enjoyed her story. And I'm not gonna say little. I say little a lot, y'all, but everything is not little to me. To discuss it. Oh, you going about your Utah trip? Now, Diva D said I thought hard about aborting. Oh, sis, try to say terminating. We can't really use them words like that. YouTube be getting us. My firstborn. Now look back. I'm glad you didn't either. My sister's firstborn is actually about to be a dad for the first time. Sometime in July, we're expecting. I believe the end of July, maybe early August, depending on how the mom carries. So we're gonna pray over my step niece that she has a successful labor. Everything works out in her favor, and we're gonna have a baby, beautiful little chocolate baby girl on the way. I can't wait to see her, meet her. Hopefully I can get down there after the baby born so I can meet the cute little baby. So my sister's actually, she's been she called it the nan mom, but she's been a grandmother for a step grandmother. I put it like that, but in our family ain't nothing step like that. So she's been a grandmother for the last, I believe, 8 years and been the best. But this is her first biological grandchild, so I'm excited for her. Very excited. But let's see now. Mel says, my mama asked me what I wanted to do. I chose it because I was scared of my dad. Okay, but I can say had I had the first one, I probably wouldn't have had any more. I ended up with 4 because of the guilt. See, and that's my whole thing too. Like I thought I couldn't even have no kids. I was just thought I was disposable. After I lost that first one at 16 mil, lost that second one at 17, and I'm like, oh, I can't have kids. So I just lived life and was out there living my best life. I ain't get pregnant again for 8 freaking years. And then out of nowhere, when I do get pregnant, I'm at 6 months when I find out. No option, no choice, no nothing. But I feel like, because like I think my oldest two would have been, one was doing 19 in 2000, the other is 2000. So one would have been 25 this year, the other would have been turning 24. And I can't see my big 41-year-old self like those kids. I wouldn't have been a good mom. I would have probably, been one of those girls in the streets. I could probably would have ended up on drugs. So back then, I was living in the country where it's nothing to do, and I probably would have been stressed out with them kids and wanting to run the streets and go to the clubs, and because that's what I was doing anyway before children. I would have been a horrible mom. So God protected me. Now, Terrific says, I seen a story where a woman was graded. Uh huh. I was about to say graded and unalive, but the powers that are keeping her alive is the baby is ready to be born, and her parents are against it. Ooh. Mm. And see, that's the whole thing too. Like that's a factor in Georgia. They're basically forcing people to have their grapist babies. You go out there and you get grape, and so like everybody don't have that um means and transportation and money, to get out of the state to go somewhere else to, you know, handle it if they are pro-choice. You know what I'm saying? And that goes back to the show that I was watching on Breakbeat Media. That young girl um was raped by a family friend or one of her brother's friends or something like that. And she basically had to have her grape his baby because her grandmother was like, no, she don't believe in those things. She's not taking nothing to get terminated. She gonna have this baby. And she loved the baby. And some people, it's hard for them to love their rapist's child, but she, like she said, like, and her child's grown now. I believe she's in her mid 30s. The child's like 18, 19 or whatever, and he was able to graduate. Like, she really loved on her son, and that was big of her to do because some people can't look in the eyes of the person that harms them every day, even though it's their own child. That's tough stuff. And I know we sort of got off topic from Adrian, but y'all know that's what happens when you come over to opinionated news. But I thank you for dropping my yes. Feel free to join the chat if y'all are in the bushes. I ain't checked to see. It probably ain't nobody in here. It's just 8 of us, and I think everybody that's here that wants to type in, I appreciate you. But we're not gonna be here too much longer, as we have been here for 57 minutes 40 seconds, and I thank each and every one of you. Remember, you can always come in, as I am open, and this is always open to discuss anything that you want to discuss here at Opinionated News. Whether you is definitely for you. And y'all got to excuse my little free promotions. But if you all did not double tap the screen, please double tap. If you are on a laptop, please hit the like button. Let people know that Miss Open is back. Get me out there in the algorithm as I continue to come out here and bring awareness and hold great discussions with you all. We will be going back to StreamYard soon once I gain my community. I figure the work that I put in on StreamYard, you all, I don't get enough views and pushed out there for my hard work because it is hard work. So for now, because I would have loved to show y'all exactly what this young lady looks like, but you can go check my video out. So I'm gonna have to continue to come out here and gain my community. Once I get enough community that does want to hold these open panel discussions where I drop my link and do all that good stuff, we'll be moving back that way. Oh, you say sorry for the typos, girl. I read between the typos. We'll make it work. Raquel says, we have a great baby in my family also. She is loved, and the Grapes family took care of her. We love her. See? And, that's the whole thing. Like, I'm not sure if she knows that she was, a product of that. I don't feel like in that instance, a child should know. If you're going to love that baby, you're going to raise that baby, and it's, your choice to, have that rapist baby. I don't think the baby should know. Maybe you should, something. I don't feel like you should have a lot of kids, but maybe when the baby does start asking about fathers when they get older, your father's no longer here. Come up with a story about it. But I don't know what type of mental health problem that will bring on a child, to know that they were formed not out of love, but out of, a strenuous situation. I'm gonna put it like that. Raquel, that's sweet. Where's the dad? He said, yes. Like, did he get time? She doesn't know. And yes, that's exactly. And she is older now and in her 60s. That's even better. I love it. I love that for y'all, and I love that for her. Like, I don't think nobody should know. Like with that type of situation, it's a difference when, you know, I don't know. Like, that's just mental health on the kids altogether, all the way around, all the way around. Let me drink this, y'all. 1 second. My throat is dry, y'all. I'm sorry if I smell. I'm sorry. I smell. I sound real deep and everything, but I'm working on it because my voice really did go out after Saturday night. I woke up Sunday. I couldn't talk. Monday got a little better. Tuesday is a little bit better, but we working on it. Oh, you say no? She does know. Oh, did she find out later in life, or was she always raised knowing, Raquel? You know what I'm saying? I don't know if she always raised knowing. Tariq said I would never tell. Would have said he passed. Yeah, like that's how I feel. Like, if it was my choice, I mean, if if that happened to me and it was my choice to keep my kid, I'm gonna raise my kid with love all the way around, and I'm gonna say, hey, when they start asking about the dad, either he just opted not to be there, or or I would probably put myself out there and be like, I don't know who your baby daddy is. Mama was a hoe. Like, I'm that person. Like, I would definitely do that, because once I knew, like, far as my daughter, we found out her dad wasn't going to be around when she was 10 months out the womb. Um, I had opted in my mind. You can ask Diva D that's in the chat, and my auntie that's no longer here. I was telling her, I was like, hey, I'm just going to tell her when she start asking questions that her dad is deceased. So then, of course, y'all know Eddie Johnson Jr. comes around and beats her dad for the next 5, 6 years or whatever. And so when she was crying about him going away, I couldn't let her cry about a man that I knew wasn't her father. I knew I had to tell her about her father, and I still struggled with, do I just show her this picture and say he's no longer here, or do I be honest with her and just say, he can't be around right now. Of course, I didn't tell my, baby he opted out. I just let her know that he loves her and he couldn't be around right at the moment. Life had to, mess with him. But I really wanted to tell her that he wasn't no longer here. He was 6 feet under. And I'm mad I didn't make that choice. I'm really mad I did not make that choice. And actually, the other baby mom, whose baby's younger than mine, she feels the same exact way. We talked about it in January when she came up here to visit, that she wished she would have just told her baby that he was no longer here, because sometimes them absent fathers and the constant wandering of the children, but it's sad that we have to make those type of decisions. Rather, it's just sad all the way around. Now let's see. I left off after her. Okay, there was Raquel said there was other kids, so they knew because she got given to his family and raised separately. And so, of course, I can imagine kids saying stuff, oh, that ain't even your daddy, your mom, you was adopted, you was, oh, I know how kids is. Raquel, did he go to jail? I want to know that. I don't know. No one mentions him. Oh, yeah, because you probably was young when that happened anyway, Raquel. Or probably wasn't even born if she's 60, right? Yeah, 'cause my bad. I'm sorry, you weren't even born. I'm sorry, you probably was young when it happened. Girl, you ain't that old. Okay, I'm sorry. I wasn't great, but my children were conceived in love. Weren't conceived in love. I thought the truth about their donors. See, I told them the truth about their donors. With me, I always tell my daughter that she was not a plan, but she was a purpose. Um, During that time, I thought my baby was conceived in love. You know what I'm saying? It was in lust when I look back. Because when I look back, I told you I've never been in love. Like, that's why I said I was never in love. I was in lust with her dad and everything. So she was conceiving in some passionate moments. It was passion, and we have been talking for 2 years. So I thought she was conceived in love, but obviously he just loved the idea of me, because you didn't love me enough where you know you stood up for yours. Something that's, your DNA. And, that's sad for my child. But we push through, we push forward. And, hopefully, for her, I hope she gets the answers she really need truthfully from him one day. because I could be telling her anything in her mind. You know what I'm saying? I can just be telling her my truth, and he may have a whole totally different truth that I'm not gonna unless he go lying real bad on my name, that I'm not gonna deny on, just because it was his experience with me. I believe in truth no matter what. And yeah, that's good, Mel's. Like, I believe in telling the truth, but sometimes, like, if I gotta withhold some information from my baby to protect her, in which I think is protecting, I will withhold. I ain't gonna lie. I'll withhold certain things. Like, I didn't even know how to tell her that she might have been pre-diabetic. I'm like, oh Lord, I gotta tell my baby this, da 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 da, because I don't like to have to break the bad news, and that's what it sucks not having a extra co-parent with me, so I can, we can balance out who gonna say the bad news today and who gonna do the good stuff. But it all works out in the end. Yep, I allow them to figure out those dudes out for themselves. And that's something, like, I've never badmouthed my baby daddy to my baby. If he walked up today and said, "Hey, I want to be there," even after being absent for 15 years and not doing what you want to do, you're supposed to do as a man, I would still offer you the opportunity. I will offer you the opportunity, but it would be up to my daughter to accept that, she's old enough now where she can make her own decision and choose, yes, I want to, have a relationship, or I don't. And I don't know how we got there, y'all, but that's what normally happens at open discussion. We have been here for 1 hour, 6 minutes, and 6 seconds. Oh, I like that number. Yeah, I'm a numbers girl. Numbers girl. But we are going to be getting up out of here in a minute, you all. I am tired. I got to prepare for my tomorrow. Y'all know I get up at 6 o'clock every morning, and I mother. I have to make me some money. I have things to do, and then I try to find stories and bring content to you all. We will be back here tomorrow at 10 o'clock. And I believe we're probably just going to be talking about some stuff that I've seen, because Wednesdays is supposed to be my open reviews to everything, which I have not put out on a production for ever before. So I'm probably going to just review some things that I have seen here on YouTube, and I'm gonna try to stick away from the stuff I've been seeing in the street sector. That's not my genre. I'm talking about other little things that I may have seen on YouTube, or a reality show or two that some of you all may have catched or caught up on. Cause I've been watching Basketball Wives, which I have not watched. That might be what put me out tonight. I haven't watched for this week. I've been watching Basketball Wives now. I think we're only on season 3. And what other new? Oh, I did not watch BMF yet, but I'm supposed to watch it. And I believe The Shy, I'm not sure if The Shy already came out on the 16th or is it the 26th. But I'm looking forward to The Shy. And that's one of my shows. Them some things I may be reviewing on Wednesdays, as I am coming out here, be talking about some of that stuff. A little bit of reality with a little bit of the fictional news. I mean, fictional stuff we see on TV as well. Thanks for joining. Yes, thank you all for coming out. Those that stayed in the bushes, that came in. Oh, I got 12 of y'all up there. I got a big, for those that don't know, I have a big spot on my phone. So I can't really see what's going on my live stream. I mean, who's coming in and out, how many likes I got. But if you did not double tap that screen or hit the like button, please do so, as I am trying to grow my community and continue to bring great discussions here. Anytime you see me here, I am as open. You can always come in, as I am open in mind, spirit, and heart. And I thank each and every one of you all for being here tonight. But we're finally going to get out of here after 1 hour, 8 minutes, and 18 seconds. Please remember to keep Adrian's mom, Miss April Newkirk, her unborn baby Chase, her living son unborn baby Chance, her living son Chase, up in prayer, and the father too. Pray as their lives have now changed forever. We're going to continue, because this story, I was going to get more information, but I will not be bringing a live stream out about it until maybe August. If I get any more information, I will be making a video, but you all continue to uplift them in prayer, as, like I said, their lives have changed forever. And I thank each and every one of you for joining me tonight. I will see you all tomorrow night, 10 o'clock. Be here, as we're going to lighten up the mood a little bit. We're moving towards the weekend where it's going to be time to have fun. But I thank each and every one of you. Good night.